My name is Eva and I'm from Sweden, and I came to Mexico 23 years ago to race in La Carrera Panamericana. We have been here before on vacation, like for 3 months, and we love Mexico. So when we read a newspaper in Sweden about the race in Mexico that called La Carrera Panamericana, and we saw the video of Pink Floyd, we said we have to do it at least once. So we built a Volvo in Sweden and shipped it over here, and then we went racing. We thought 1 year. Then somebody bought the car. So we built a new car and maybe 1 more year. And that's how it started 23 years ago. And now we live here, and it's because of the La Carrera Panamericana. So, and we love it in Mexico. We're very happy here. And I think the people is what we love. And the weather, of course, and San Miguel is fantastic. So I don't think we're never going to move back. I hope my mom can watch this, but we're happy here. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I think it's boring to be in one place, and I look at other places to live, but I never find something that is as good as here. Europe, the weather is not so warm year-round, and the people are so friendly and helpful, and that's what got us here. My husband, Mats, has always been into cars since I met him. So he was racing in Sweden, and of course it's a fantastic sport. I love watching Formula One or rally, world champion rally, but it's the friendship with the cars. You can go traveling anywhere in the world, and if somebody has the same interest in cars, you always connect, and it's something special. It's not always easy because cars sometimes don't behave, and it's even for the Formula One or World Champion Rally, they have problems. So it's not always, you're not always happy, but in the end it's fun. We read this article about 2 Swedes that went and brought a Volvo to La Carrera Panamericana, and we read an article about them in a Swedish magazine, and we said we have to do this race. We love Mexico, we love traveling, and before we went to Mexico we traveled for 15 years, Asia and Africa and everywhere. And maybe it was time for us to settle down, but we couldn't find the right place, and then we came here. And well, you have to love it, with all the beautiful cars and people and parties. And of course it was a little bit easier at that time. We started at 12 sometimes and 10. Now it's a tougher race. Well, Mats and I have always worked together or traveled together. We started having a gym in the 80s. So when we were 20, we started our own business. So we always been together, and I think it's great to work with your partner because you have the same interest and everything. And well, we go and race, and we do different things. I take care of the food and logistic and hotels and everything, and he is more with the cars. So it's good. You have so many good memories together that you have done with the race and all the people you met. So I really enjoyed it. It's a lot of preparation for the cars to go for a race like La Carrera Panamericana, because it's a tough race. You are at sea levels, and you're at very high levels in Mexico. So, and there are topes, which is speed bumps, and you drive through big cities like Mexico City. So the cars have to be super prepared, and you need a lot of spare parts. Also, it would be great to have a double car because everything can happen. So you really have to prepare the cars, but also prepare the mechanics so they are not so They have slept before, because we don't sleep during the race. We work 24 hours.
Yeah.
We're always there. We go with the race, and I wouldn't miss it. It's so much fun too. And I organize when the guys are leaving in the morning and where they're going and everything. So we try not to be in the same car. If something happens, we can take a decision what to do.
Okay.
So when we go on the race, you have to prepare everything before. You cannot think that, oh, we can do that at the start if you need to buy something or whatever. You need to be focused. And I cook. It can be out in a car park or in a garage or out somewhere where there's dust everywhere. So sometimes when we have a lot of people, I cook for 40 people. You can imagine how many water bottles I have to buy every day, and Gatorade could be 100 that I need to buy. Find time to go somewhere and buy it. So it's really tough. I would tell you a story where we were in Morelia. I called Mats and I said, I think it's going to rain. And he's like, no, I don't think so. He's very positive. I say not negative, but with the more grounded. So I said, it's going to rain. And it started to rain like crazy. And we were at the parking lot outside the garage. Everybody was so wet. The hamburgers that we had made was floating around. So we said, let's go inside because we can't do anything. They had already started to take the cars down and not taking the engine out, but other parts were out. So we went into the hotel and waited a couple of hours, and then it stopped raining. So wonderful, let's go out and work with the cars. And then the sewage was overflowing. So now it was not only rain and water, it was the sewage coming up. I was expecting rats or snakes or whatever. And that's the typical Carrera, that no one is complaining, no mechanics are complaining, they just do what they have to do. And next day they leave and no one says, I quit, I can't do this, it's too hard. They just have all wet clothes, we couldn't wash them or put them in the dryer, there was no time, and we just went, and then that's the next day.
Yeah.
It's all from 9 cars, and sometimes it depends. Now it's been COVID, and a lot of people, we have lots of clients from Europe. I think we have had clients from 20 different countries. So with the COVID, a lot of people couldn't travel, and so last year we only had 2. If you have the money and the time, I would really suggest you doing this race, because during my 23 years and with all the different people we had a lot of famous people in our team, like Harry Rovanperä, Stig Blomqvist, Memo Rojas, Michelle Jourdain, Eric Comas. I want to say everybody because somebody get upset otherwise. Ricardo Trevino, a lot of famous race car drivers that have done so many things, and they all loved it and they say they've never done anything like it before. So if you can, do it, because you're not going to. I never heard anybody say, oh, this is the most boring thing, I never want to do it again. Because you're like a rock star during the race. People are waiting in line. It could be 100 people waiting for you to write an autograph. It's just fantastic. And what is so wonderful with the race too, we get into these old colonial towns that are so beautiful, beautiful church and everything. And then at night we have dinner together, and it's really nice. You meet so many interesting people, and it's not just about racing, it's about the social life and the friends. Even working in the teams, but I don't think no one worked in the team when I started. And I work in construction and I work here, and so for me it's not a problem to be a woman. As a woman in this race, when I started, there was just a few, Angelica Fuentes and a few other women. Now it's much more women who are co-pilots and even working in the teams. But there was, I don't think no one worked in the team when I started. And I work in construction and I work here, and so for me it's not a problem to be a woman, but you have to be pretty tough because in order for them to listen to you. Eric Comas, I think, well, now to think what is the French guy, Pierre de Toisy, I should know, he's a good friend. But Pierre de Toisy was the one that suggested him to come to us. And so he came here, and then he went out and did the recce, where you go out and do all the notes before. And he came a lot to San Miguel too. And almost all the professional drivers that drive, they come and stay with us before, and then they go out. And like Steve Blomqvist, I went all over Mexico with him to do it. The difference between the very professional drivers that have been driving a long time, first of all, they know that things can go wrong, and they don't even say anything. They just, okay, that's how it is with racing, and we try to find a solution together. And also, they know how to set up the car. I think when Stig was here, he really made a big difference. He came here, and we went to Querétaro. The car was just built, the Studebaker, and Mats said, take it easy, go a few laps and check. He didn't. He went full out, and he was like 1 millimeter from the the concrete wall. And when he stopped, he did. Stig doesn't say much, so he's like, okay, I want to do this setup and change the click here and do whatever. Our mechanics, the Mexican mechanics, asked me afterwards, was he happy with the car, or what did he say? I said, I have no idea, because he doesn't have an expression, he's Swedish. So he went home, he flew home, and then his co-pilot Anna called and said, oh, Steve was so happy with the car, it was so great. But we had no idea either. But they know exactly how to set up the car and everything. That's the difference with the professional drivers. Oh, Memo is wonderful, so easy. He was so nice, because he was always hanging out with the mechanics and talking to them and sitting with us, eating and everything. Very easy and fun guy to be with. And his father too, he was coming along with us. One of the, well, there are so many, of course, but one preparation was maybe not really the preparation of the car, but was when Harry Rovanperä came, and he stayed with us. And first he said to me, I can't come because my kids go to school, and he's from Finland and they don't let them out of school. And I said, I write a note to the teacher and tell her that he will learn more if he's here 2 weeks than if he's in school. So they let him go, and he came. Everybody knows Kalle Rovanperä is this big rally driver now. He was 9 years old, and I could tell that he had so much interest in cars that he would be a good rally driver. Our house is a terrace, and it's 10 meters high. And suddenly I said to Harry, you know, your son is 9 years old. He's walking outside the railing now, and it's 10 meters down. And Harry just said, boys are boys. So I guess he has no fear, because you can't have fear if you're a race car driver. He's a rally driver. So I think that's my best. Now I just have to watch every rally, because I love to see Kalle. And he's so nice and he's really doing everything. He was very shy when he was 9 years old, and everybody, you know, in Mexico, everybody want to kiss everybody, and he didn't like that at all. He was like, oh, but that's one of my favorite moments. I think we continue on racing, of course, but also we got into a lot of making car parts. Scared us a little bit during the COVID when we didn't have any cars for racing. So you need to have a little bit extra. So now we started to make a lot of car parts and things like that. And of course we do the elevators, as we always do.
Yeah.
I think electric is the future, and we have started to do that, and well, it's a little bit secret so far, but that's how we have started to make an electric car, and I think that's the way to go.